Being a father is not a thing that you read and expect, and it exactly happens the way you expect it. She loves Sound of Music, and she's just now allowed me to be a part of those performances when she does. She sings those songs. All of 7.5 or 8, I was watching Dil with my cousins, and my dad called up and said, okay, this is what is happening, and there's a film. And I said, who's in it? They said, Amir Khan and Juhi Chawla. I said, hey, I'm watching Amir Khan right now on TV. Inaaya and Taimur are a riot when they're together, and sometimes they just do the sweetest things together, and it's great to be around them.
Today we are here to talk about fathers and Father's Day, and you became a father in 2017 to the lovely Inaaya. Since 2017, how has fatherhood changed you?
I've definitely become more patient and calmer. It's one of the virtues that is very has to be associated with becoming a parent.
Sure.
But I think, I mean, I guess it's the others around me who would be able to tell you, like, if there is a stark difference. Within me, I just think I'm more patient, and I mean, she is like our world in so many ways. And I think in the lockdown, she's been, if not the only thing that's kept us so positive and so on our feet. And luckily, because of her routine, that's our routine. Otherwise, it's very tough to maintain a routine when you've got nothing happening the whole day, and you sleep late and you wake up late, and then you get bored, and then you're like, that, like they say, that empty mind is the devil's place. So and all of those things happen, but thanks to her, no matter what time we choose to sleep, and which is early now, we're up at 7:30, if not earlier sometimes, and then she's got her school, whatever, it's all online, and then do a couple, like Soha does most of the classes, but I'll do some classes with her, and like sometimes she wants to watch something and we watch it together, or she wants to read a book. So I think she's kind of given us a routine and kept us positive. And I think in turn, it's also been great for the kids generally, is because this is the only time, and it's like a blessing in disguise, because this is the only time that children have had both their parents 24/7 to them. So sometimes it's very important to have that. Of course, with slightly older children, that might be a bad thing. Where they're like, I just want to have some time off from you guys. But I think, luckily for us, it's worked out well, because these are those, integral years of our life.
Yeah. But that's exactly where what I want to talk to you about, Kunal. Parenting in lockdown. None of us have been through this before. What happened with us in 2020, and suddenly everything became online, including schools. Again, a format that we have never gone through personally ourselves. What was that challenge like?
Honestly, that whole challenge, the major brunt of it has been championed by Soha. She's very hands-on, and she actually I think she takes it upon herself. It's like her homework, and our homework is her homework. And so I can't even begin to say that's been very challenging, because I know that the major chunk of it Soha's been handling. But also on the second, what I would like to say is, because for us, it's our first child, and for us, everything was so new. And despite what everybody will tell you and advise, and you read about it, but what you go through is what you go through. It's everybody's personal experience. So for us, we don't know how different would it have been, because she just about started going to playgroup, and things shut down, and we were back to. So I can only compare it to how it would have been for me, or ask my mother. But I think in my age group, if there is somebody who has a second child, they would actually know what the difference was, when the first child was this age, and how different life was for them, and how it is now. We can only draw comparisons right now, but I think with whatever we've had, and this is the only thing that we know, I would have loved the best way is to actually interact with other kids and go to school and do these activities on your own, as opposed to sit in front of a laptop or an iPad sometimes, because at the end of the day, it's nothing more than a screen time, right? So but the schools also trying to put their best foot forward, because I think these are unprecedented times. Everybody's just figuring out a way to do this. So having said that, I think everybody's in this together, and we've been trying to do the best that we can, and follow the best advice we can, or sign up for the best programs that are out there, or do the best within the house to do activities with her, whether it's playtime or story time or music. And that's what we know.
Sure. But does as a father, Kunal, it worries you of the fact that since we have been used to going to the schools and being with people in person, does it worry you that I hope when she goes to school finally with people, will she be able to adjust to this new environment, and will she be, because like you said, it's very new for her also. Does this thought come to your mind?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a process, Avinash. I mean, it was a process initially when when you started putting her into playgroup. It took like a week or two for her to get used to the idea of parents dropping her to the school and then her being there on her own
Yeah.
with her teachers and her friends. And they just about got comfortable with that, and we were in this situation. Even then, like, we managed to do like those bio bubble play groups. So it's like she has two friends that like they only meet and their parents only meet. So we've been doing that.
Huh.
But even then, like now when she'll actually now go to a proper school, it'll be a process. I don't know how that'll be, but I would wish for that to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And that's a chapter that we still have to explore.
But I really hope it turns out well. I saw an interview of yours with Kareena where you said, I don't remember what you exactly said, but you were speaking about Inaaya and you said, Ja beta ja, jo chahiye leke jaye. That was such a
Yeah.
sweet way of how expressing, how fathers feel towards their daughters.
Yeah.
What is the equation that the two of you all share?
Actually, she was very. I mean, she was very small, like last lockdown, and she's growing up, and there's so many different things about her that you notice every other month, if not every other week. And I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's the first time, and like being a father is not a thing that you read and expect, and it exactly happens the way you expect it. So I think the best thing about it is that you're looking forward to every other day to see what new will this day bring in this relationship. What is a new story that she likes? What will she like now? Like, she loves Sound of Music, and she's just now allowed me to be a part of those performances when she does. She sings those songs, and now I can be a character in that. Earlier, she just wanted to be like her, and now I have to learn those songs so that I can sing them. Otherwise, she gets annoyed because she knows those lyrics and I don't. And now she started watching Moana, and that's her new favorite. So she loves those songs. So I'm actually reading up on those songs so that I can sing them to her. So I mean, I guess every parent goes through that, and I am very blessed to have a child like her. I mean, just blessed to be a father.
When you started working out as a child artist in films, were your parents supportive about it?
Actually, it was very interesting when it started because it wasn't even planned. Like, it's not that I initially really wanted to do it or they wanted me to kind of be a part of it. But when it did happen with Hame Rai Pyar Ke, and somebody reached out because that story's out there because I'd done a small part in a show that my mom and dad were doing called Gulgul Gul Farm. And then when we moved to Bombay, the same director, Ved Rahiji, was making an episodic thing for Doordarshan with my mom. And it was about a mom and child. And he said, would you like to do it? And I was like, yeah, I really had fun. And I liked watching myself on the television. And it was so cool. So I just did that and that was it. And then somebody from Hame Rai Pyar Ke casting team had seen that. And they reached out to my dad and like they said, we're making this film. And my dad was like, I don't even know if he wants to do it because, I'll ask him. And I remember I was in Delhi for my vacations and all of 7.5 or 8, I was watching Dil with my cousins and my dad called up and said, okay, this is what is happening and there's a film. And I said, who's in it? They said, Amir Khan and Juhi Chawla. I said, hey, I'm watching Amir Khan right now. And he said, well, that's the film, but you want to do it? But, but like we used to always, from us growing up, this was just a hobby, right? So education. So he was like, firstly, if you want to do it, you tell me the interest, then I'll have to figure out if you can do it. And it just happened by fluke. And I remember that I'm very thankful for my dad for being there because it was a different world then. It was, children were not necessarily treated in the same way or at the same level. But my dad always made sure that, he's a working professional when he's on set. And he made sure that, in no way were kids exploited on set in any way. And I love that about him because he was always that, fathers are always like those pillars who are there in the back. They never like shouting out for that I was there, but they're always there and they had my back and they were very supportive.
Is because of the lockdown and the restrictions, has she found a best friend in Taimur than like a cousin?
I mean, they do spend a lot of time, but unfortunately in this current lockdown, they haven't even gone to spend so much time with each other. But yeah, they do share a nice bond. I mean, they look forward to meeting each other. They have lots of fun. But besides that, Inaaya also has, like I said, she has this COVID pod of kids that she was in the play group with and still does school with. Who just live across the building, and one of the girls is in the building only. So she, in this lockdown specifically, that was the group that spent time. But I mean, of course, Inaaya and Taimur are a riot when they're together, and sometimes they they just do the sweetest things together, and it's great to be around them and watch them grow together.
Many actors are very averse to playing fathers on screen. Is that a concern for you?
It's never been a concern for me. I just think like at 21, 22, it doesn't make sense to play a father because you don't even have the understanding of what it would be. So I mean, just because you look something I guess maybe at 22, 23, I would have been averse to it. And it's not that just because I became a father now I can be a father. I wasn't offered father roles actually until Loot Case happened. That was the first time I was even offered something. So I can't even say that, hey, I would of course play it and like there's nothing wrong with it and why not and all that. And honestly, when Loot Case was offered to me, it didn't even strike my mind once that, oh, but I'm playing a father. No, I was like, oh, this is a great thing and it's a great relationship between father and son. And being a father helped because, I mean, on an emotional level, I could connect to a lot of those things. But no, I mean, it's never bothered me. Because at the end of the day, I'm playing a character, right? Sorry?
Yeah. What a fun child, though.
Aryan, oh my God, what a fun child and what a good actor. And like, such a pleasure to be on set with and working with, and even offset. Thankfully, an offset, you know, he's not like that. I mean, I used to be like very sit on the chair and be very professional and then go and do my thing. But he's just a nutter like offset and used to be like dancing around and doing stuff. It was so much fun working with him.
What's the significance of Father's Day for you?
Honestly, you know, I mean, none of these days have a specific significance in my life. I mean, it's not that I look forward to a Valentine's Day or like, you know, or even my birthdays actually. Or
really?
I mean, some people like make it a big thing. I mean, you know, I used to look forward to birthdays as a kid because there was a time you would get rasna and you would get samosas and you would get to go to children's houses and blow that balloon and, you know, candies and collect them and get return gifts. Or even in school, get a free lecture so that you could go and give sweets in every class, which I never got to do because my birthday is on the 25th of May, which is vacation time.
Correct.
And because of that, nobody would take me with them because they were like, but मैं तेरे को लेके जाऊँगा, तू मेरे को लेके नहीं जा पाएगा, तो मेरा फायदा क्या है? So that barter deal would never happen. But other than that, I mean, it's nice that we take a day in a year to celebrate this. But I think relationships are special every single day, and I know it's cliche to say. But whenever you get the time, you don't have to wait for Father's Day to happen to say, you know, go and spend time with your dad and you can't like cancel on work to say today's Father's Day, I have to go and celebrate it with my father or my partner. I mean, whenever you get the time, just let them know that you love them. And if there is something special that you want to do it now.
Sure.
Don't wait for these days to come, because unlike your birthday, I don't know how these days were even like, imagine that today is the day that we celebrate fathers, not tomorrow, today, on the 21st or the 20th.
And
I don't know if like nakshatra it changes every year or not. I don't even know. Like, you know, in birthdays you have that kundli wala birthday, which changes every year. So I mean, like I said, I mean, a day specifically doesn't have any significance for me.
True. But you know, at least there's this one day where you know, people can go out and express their love for their fathers, and like being a mother, being a father also, I'm sure, is not an easy job. So more power to you and more power to all the fathers out there. Thank you for this lovely conversation, Kunal.
Thank you, Avinash.